Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching Charlie's Angels, directed by Elizabeth Banks, and starring Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, Elizabeth Banks as well, and Patrick Stewart, among many, many, many others. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is actually set after the events of the previous generations of Charlie's Angels. In this universe, turns out Charlie's Angels has become an international business, recruiting young women, talented young women from all over the world to fight crime and, do the Charlie's Angels thing. Kick butt and look good while doing it. So in this particular mission, the Angels have to ultimately help out a software engineer played by Naomi Scott, whose revolutionary piece of technology could be used to revolutionize the power business, but it could also be used to kill people via EMP blasts. So two of the most talented angels of that particular branch, one of them played by Kristen Stewart, they have to ultimately help out Naomi Scott's character and introduce her to the world of Charlie's Angels and the many, many Bosleys. But that I won't spoil anything when it comes to later on. Now, the Charlie's Angels series, ever since its inception back in the 1970s, has always been a very cheesy, very over-the-top spy series, known mainly a lot more for fan service than it does for actual girl power. That's not to say there isn't any girl power in it. This film clearly has a lot of that in it, but it's clear why people tuned in the 70s, or at least why adolescent young men went in the 1970s. And the same can be said for the early 2000s films by McG. Elizabeth Banks' version, however, tones down the fan service while not completely removing it, and also develops genuine bonds between the various angels. I definitely like the team of angels in this one. One of them being the newcomer, being Naomi Scott's character. She's a very good main character to have in this series. She doesn't feel like she's just there to spout exposition. She does feel like she's there as an audience surrogate when it comes to everything that goes on. Kristen Stewart's character is really fun. She has all the witty one-liners. She's got some prison time with her character, and she may or may not have a thing for the other girls. Who am I kidding? Of course she does. But come on. It's Kristen Stewart who's playing a character way better than she ever did in her Twilight days. Please give me a pass on this. And the other one's basically an MI6 agent who has a good straight man routine with Kristen Stewart's character. They're all fun when it comes to their individual personalities. Elizabeth Banks also plays one of the many Bosleys in the film. It's revealed that Bosley is more of a rank than an actual name, and I definitely appreciate that her Bosley is a lot different from, say, Bernie Mac's Bosley, or Bill Murray's Bosley, or the other Bosleys from the series. In fact, Patrick Stewart plays a Bosley as well, and they actually do a lot of cool things with his character that I don't want to spoil, but it definitely feels like the movie makes the most of it with its talented cast. Which is good, considering the script and storyline are quite predictable. If you've seen most spy films, or even the other Charlie's Angels films, you kind of know which motions the film's going to go through. But thankfully it does it in a cheeky and self-aware way, to the point where, even if you've seen these things going on a million times, there's always a cool, well-choreographed fight scene, or a few witty jokes that ultimately keep you entertained. But that predictability can also work against the film, considering that the twists themselves are ones that you can kind of see coming once you really get into them. Also, I felt the climax was a little overly long. I know the film's less than 2 hours long, but it felt like the climax could have been shortened at certain points, and the film would have had its ending be all the stronger. But aside from that, Charlie's Angels is a perfectly serviceable late November film that ends up being thoroughly predictable, but also thoroughly enjoyable when it comes to the return of these angels. I give Charlie's Angels a 7 out of 10. See you next time.